Alright, so from the description of the video and the title of the video, you probably know what's going on, but if you don't understand and you just clicked on the video, let me give you a quick rundown of what's happening. I met the love of my life 6 years ago, just 2 towns over, while driving the Jeep that is currently behind me in this shed. Now, she is an amazing, beautiful woman, and in reality, I'm insanely lucky to be able to call her my wife soon. Anybody that remembers me from school remembers that me and this Jeep were inseparable. I used to go everywhere with it. It was my daily driver. I used to drive the wheels off this thing in the woods. You know, people can attest to how crazy I used to drive this thing and how much I used to beat on it. After owning the Jeep for 4 years, I ended up trading it in for a more reliable vehicle to get back and forth to work. Now, I traded it in, went on my merry way. About a year and a half later, I somehow found it on Craigslist, went up, mounted a rescue mission with my friends, and drove up to Vermont, 2.5 hours, 3 hours away, and retrieved my Jeep. And ever since then, it's been in my possession again. But sadly, it has been off the road. I've used it on trail rides here and there, but like I said, I never put it back on the road. So what the plan is to try to get this Jeep back on the road before our wedding date. Now, right now as we're recording this, it is Wednesday, September 30th at 10:06 in the afternoon. Our wedding is on the 24th of October. I got 24 days to get this thing on the road. Now, most people would probably say, oh, well, that should be pretty easy if you're cruising as a trail rig, and it should be, fairly straightforward. Well, let me show you the situation we're in right now. Yeah, or should I say, I have some explaining to do. So I know what you're thinking. You are mental. And, you sometimes have to be when you're a Jeep owner. And first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get all this crap cleared out of here. And, get all my tools organized, and then I'll be able to fully explain what the plan is here, because I only have a frame, and the body's over there. So we'll get into that in a second. That's a little better. Got the lights on, cleared out a little space in here. Now I can more easily explain what's going on. So basically, the reason why I think I can get this thing done in the next couple of days, or should I say 24 days, is Jeeps are like big Lego kits if you really break it down. I already have a running drive line. I don't have to worry about any of this. I should just plug right back in. It should work. Fingers crossed, at least. Everything else for the body on the Jeep, fairly straightforward. The doors are still on the body. The windshield is right there. I still have the hinges for it. That's all it really is bolted onto a Jeep besides the front end. I still have the hood. I am fabricating the fenders up right now. The grill is still on. And the only thing really left at that point is just the hardtop, which Jeeps take the top off all the time, so I really don't need to put the top on. I mean, if I have to, the top's right over there. So, in reality, if you actually look at this platform, the body's only held on by 8 bolts to the entire frame. There's not much to a Jeep. That's why I think it is doable. It is possible to get this Jeep at least driving. On the road, that's still to be seen, but I have a lot of parts that have been sitting that I should be able to use to get this thing on the road, and I'll show you those right now. Alrighty, so we got all of our spare parts here. I'm just gonna put that there. And this is the pile of, I guess, junk, as you would call it, that I've accumulated over some time. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but if you remember, this Jeep shouldn't need much. So all of this stuff is pretty much extra stuff. I've got an extra water pump, I've got extra brake pads. I mean, these things haven't even been used yet. We got pads, we got a brand new steering pump, we got all brand new bushings, we got shackle bushings. I actually have leaf springs, which I have yet to actually bring in here. They're actually in the garage. So, parts-wise, I'm doing all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go ahead and I am going to tackle the motor and see how much invasive I'm going to have to get to do all of this stuff, because I plan on doing, I got extra pulleys. I mean, these things were not even taken out of the box, at least up until now. These are perfect. I can put these on the front. I got a water pump with all the gaskets. I can put all these on. I got a throttle body spacer I can throw on. So motor wise, I could, do one or two things to the motor and actually might be all right, might be in good standing. The water pump, might take a hot minute, and the power steering pump, I'm definitely gonna, take my time with to make sure I don't screw that up, because it's already leaking now. I don't need it to leak afterwards. But as for right now, I think I'm just gonna get into it, tear into it. This guy is off. I actually never took this off the entire time I've owned this Jeep, and kind of surprised it never replaces the lighter unit, but it's gonna end up going right back on. So always replace your bolts right where they came from. That way you don't lose them. So now I got the fan off, I've got the alternator off. I would go ahead and pull this, but I'm going to just go ahead and yank this pulley off with the actual pulley I'm going to go ahead and rent from AutoZone, and then I'm going to actually put the new one on. I'm glad I went ahead and pulled the fan off, because now I realize that this water pump is not the same as the water pump I have over there. I must have gotten a 4-liter one. I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. They're only like 40 bucks, so I'm just going to get a new water pump, do all the coolant, probably do the radiator lines while I'm there, because again, it's stuff that I haven't, done since I've owned the rig. And maybe I'll go ahead and paint the motor while I'm at it, because, I have some spare time. As you can see, this thing has been caked on, and this stuff is, like, this is not, paint. This is all dirt. That's all that is. It's just dirt underneath that. And yeah, no, I want this thing to look its best. So I'm going to go ahead and get this block cleaned up and make this thing look great again. But I think for right now, this is probably where I'm going to have to cut it. So I'm starting to run out of battery power, so I'm probably going to have to go ahead and call it, at least for videotaping for tonight. I'm going to continue working on tomorrow. So just for tonight, we're going to have to cut it short, and I'll pick up with you guys in the morning.